The lad who done the undercover thing, I thought he was superb.
It was really hard to watch.
It was disgusting. I thought I was watching a film like Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels.
These people, they are just ingrained in our society, right?
I have actually had quite a lot of dealings with Charing Cross Police Station in the last 3 or 4 years because of a sort of homophobic, possibly slightly racist, but more homophobic attack.
That is really interesting.
In this episode, we're reviewing BBC Panorama's undercover investigation at Charing Cross Police Station in central London. Reporter Rory Bibb got a job there. His secret filming revealed racism, officers bragging about the use of force, and misogyny.
Welcome to the reviewers. I'm Yvonne. I am a television producer and I am your host. Panorama. Drazen, Olivera, what do you think?
I was disgusted by most of it. It was really hard to watch, and it's very worrying.
Yeah. Still, you've got people in the police who are saying she was asking for it. Those guys were vile. Kev, what do you think?
It was a horrid watch. I hated watching it. And my wife actually had to walk away halfway through. It was disgusting. I thought I was watching a film like Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels and all that. And it was sad to think that it is real, but
yeah,
I've also got to highlight the good stuff that goes on as well.
Yeah, that's what I felt.
As a program, I think it's really good to kind of have these, let's call it undercover, but like, you know, thinking of what really happens under the hood. The guy who was doing it there kind of, you know, he's very brave. One thing that, in a contrast to that one, and I'll be a little bit of devil's advocate here, is like that station is meant by probably like quite a lot of people. Like you only have a small fraction of people who bet.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, so highlighting just bad, it's okay. If you at least at some point provide, hey, this is like, I don't know, 500 people, and the percentage of these people is very low, because anywhere we go, any company I worked is like, you have these people. It's kind of, they are just ingrained in our society, right?
Yes, but saying that in the police.
Yeah, it's in the police everywhere. Like, it doesn't really, I mean, it matters that it's in police. And I think, you know, they have to uphold the high standards. I don't want people to see police as bad, because that's really bad, because then you have police on the road that needs to help you and you think, like, I'm not going to turn them to help because, like, look what they do there, where it's really minority of people who kind of do this.
Even few people that do these things in the police force, it's such a bad example. There is no place for this behavior. These are the people who should set up the standard, and they're supposedly protecting us from these problems. They shouldn't be doing them. It's like saying, oh, only few doctors are bad and they kill people on purpose. You're thinking, what if I go to this hospital and, you know, it just happens to be just that one doctor who is bad? What if somebody is raping me and this police officer happen to be that group? There is no place for these people in the police force.
Because it had been investigated already.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, there doesn't need to be a journalist. Well done to the guy who did it. Yeah. Well done to him. He put his safety online and the safety of his family, I would think. I would be worried to do that.
But these things happen and they highlight them, but they don't highlight all the good work that goes on. Yeah. And this is what they've done in the police. I've worked in care for many years, and Panorama have done these on care standards in care homes with disabilities and things like this, which has been horrific. And I've worked over 23 years in care. I haven't seen anything like that. So it does highlight it, and it does make people aware. And once it makes people who have no clue about these type of things, it makes them open their eyes to it. You actually look at things, and you look at things differently. You think, oh my God. Now for the police, they're here for us. They're meant to look after us, and they're saying this, they're doing it. It turns the coin completely over, and it can cause a lot of controversy, and the lad who done the undercover thing, I thought he was superb. I couldn't do it. I could not do what he done. But I didn't like the two women.
Like the judging.
Yeah. The other thing, the ones that were judging, watching the videos and saying about them, I didn't like them.
Well, they to be fair, they're not being stamped on and gobbed on, and
Thank you. Yeah.
and police do have to. They have a tough job. I think that also in
That is true.
I mean, I've filmed in prisons. I think prison officers, for example, they do an extraordinary job behind. Nobody ever sees what they do. If you're in a very difficult situation with some very horrible people, I think, there's a lot of good policing goes on, and they just need to get rid of those bad apples, don't they? And hopefully this programme will help to highlight it again and put Mark Rowley under pressure to change the culture.
Can I say I didn't watch that show, but I have actually had quite a lot of dealings with Charing Cross Police Station in the last 3 or 4 years, and more than I'd like. But because of a sort of homophobic, possibly slightly racist, but more homophobic attack that I had in my home a few years ago, and Charing Cross were dealing with it. And as a punter, if you like, once I got the police to be interested, which took a little time, I got nothing but amazing care from every person that I dealt with. I think it helped that the detective sergeant who was looking after my case was gay, but and I think that's why it was given to him. But everyone that I dealt with was amazing. So certainly, if that's the kind of conversation that's happening about me, for example, in the background, as a punter, I never got to hear it, and I certainly didn't feel, even if there were remarks being made, it didn't affect the care that I was given ultimately by the people who were dealing with me on the front line. Also, I think they have a way of making sure that if there's someone who's not very sympathetic, of keeping them off a particular case generally, certainly as in terms of on the front line. So the victim isn't aware of any of that stuff going on.
Yes.
So if that's my, but I haven't seen I haven't seen the program. I haven't go, but that's my experience of that particular police station in the last few years.
That's really amazing to hear you say that, actually, and that was one of the things that he did say. I've seen a lot of good policing going on as well. Like that woman, in fact, the woman who was an officer who objected to the guy.
It was amazing. Yeah.
I mean, she was, really supportive of the victim, and so and passionate about her job as well. I mean, you don't go into that job, you don't become a police officer really unless it's a vocation, isn't it? It takes over your life, I imagine.
Yeah, it's got to be a passion.
Yeah. On that cheerful note,
do we need to vote on the Panorama?
Oh gosh, okay, yes, go on then.
I'll start with that one. This is easy 5 for me. The bravery to kind of do this and importance of doing these things. No, I definitely would recommend people watch this one.
Me too. Even though it was really, really hard watching, and I had to turn away a few times. Well, quite a few times actually. It was really hard to watch. I would give it a 5.
Kev?
I'd say a 4.5. And because it's something I would normally watch because I overthink things. I take them in. I think about them afterwards once I've watched them. I can't say I enjoyed watching it, but I did. I enjoyed watching it. I found it very interesting. But no, and I would tell people to watch it as well because it makes you overthink and think about what's actually happening.
Yeah.
So 4.5 for me.
And I didn't watch it, but I'd give a 5 to the station itself that it documented, although it contradicts everything that was in the show, just from my own personal experience.
Yeah, that is really interesting to have that user experience. Yeah.
Trust pilot.
Something I was expecting to resonate with.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, and I hope you'll be coming back for another episode of the Viewer Review.
Of course.
Thank you so much.
If you enjoyed this and would like to see more, please like and subscribe.